In order to set up the top bar, scroll down and click Top Bar. Welcome to the Top Bar section. Inside of Top Bar, we have some content items, and as we scroll down, we see some more. But in order to begin, the first step is to enable it, right? We're on desktop, so I'll click Enable for desktop. Once I do that, I can see my top bar right up here. And I could also see the content that's inside of it. If we go to content here, we see that there's scrolling messages, right? That's the only content we have in there, and that's what we're seeing up here. We also have an option to enable it for mobile. So we can click Select to turn this on for mobile, or we could leave it deselected as well to not have it work on mobile. All right, so now we're going to go up to our content, because that's got to say what's in here. So we have our scrolling messages, and since it's already here in our content area, we'll start with that. And now inside of my scrolling messages, I see that I have this option to show for desktop or show for mobile. So even if this is enabled, we can come in here and still control if we want it to be shown on desktop or mobile, right? We can, if it's checked, that means yes, it's going to show for desktop, or yes, it's going to show for mobile. But if we, for example, click it and deselect it, now even though it could be on the front page, I'll go back, even on the front page it could be enabled for both. If I click back in here, once this show is off, it won't be shown on mobile, right? Or if we have it clicked for desktop, deselected for desktop, but it's selected for mobile, it won't show on desktop, but it will show on mobile. So you can control what you want to be seen in here, right? As well as you have the general settings right here. So I'll come inside. Now we have alignment. We can change how we want this to be positioned. So right now it's in the center, right? Because there's nothing on the left, nothing on the right. If I go to alignment, I can go to left and click it. Boom, it gets moved to the left. I could go to the right. Boom, it gets moved to the right. And I also have the center option. Boom, now it's in the center. Or I can leave it as auto. And with auto, if different items, right, or if I add different content to this, it will figure out the best way to position it inside of this top bar, right? So we'll figure out, okay, we have a content, another 3 different contents that we added here, or 3 different contents we added here, or whatever, what have you. But it will figure out the best placement for each of them. All right, so now we have our messages to scroll. We're in scrolling messages after all. So in here, we could hover over it, select it, and press bold. And this turns our text bold. We can press italics to italicize it. And now we're bold and italic. Or we can deselect the bold. And now we just have italics. Let's say we want to make this a link. We want them to be able to click that scrolling message and it takes them somewhere. We could see right now it's not, because when we hover over it, we don't see the mouse changing to show this is a link. So I'm going to go to first one, select first and one, right? I'm not selecting the whole text, just this at the end. And I could click link. And in here, it shows me what I've chosen, first one, as text. And then I could add in a link, if I want this to go to any link on the web, I could add that link in here. Or I could click inside this space. Choose one of these items within the store, like a blog post, policy, but I'm going to choose products. And I'm going to click on the bodybuilding pants, right? Let's click it. And then I could choose right here, do I want this to open in a new window, meaning a new tab? So when the person clicks on this link, do we want to route them to a new tab or a new window? For my case, don't really need to do that, but if I were to select it, whenever I click the link, it will open into a different tab. So I'll click insert. And now if you look, you can tell when we hover over it, see, this isn't clickable, but this is. And if I click it, you see, before I even click it, it says bodybuilding pants, because it's going to link me, it's going to send me to bodybuilding pants. So that's how we're able to do bold, italics, and links inside of our message to scroll. We could actually even add other messages in here. So we have, this is our first one, and this is another one. We can put a space, right? Press enter, make a new line, and it says it right here, right? Just in case you forget. And I could say, this is my third one. Boom. So now when these messages scroll, it will start with, this is our first one. I'll go to, this is another one, and then it will say, this is my third one, right? So this will set what will show in here. So this is scrolling messages. So I'll back out of it. I'll go to add content. I'll choose, let's say, social media, for example. Click social media. And boom. Whatever social media we have set will be shown here. And you see how, because we have this as auto, it has now positioned it with spacing in between either of it, right? So that's what we're seeing right here. So we can also go to alignment and we can move it. So our social will be on the center. See? And because this is auto, it's not pushing this all the way to center. So that's why sometimes it's better not to leave our alignment on auto, but to give it a specific placement, because then we'll be able to move it more on what we like and don't just leave it to kind of guide itself. Because see, maybe we want this to be in the center, like the bottom bar here, but it's not going full center. It's just leaving all this empty space here. So make sure you, if possible, you can set exact alignments of where you want things to be, because even though auto is great, it leaves spacing like this sometimes. So I'll move this back to the right, but you can also move it to the left. See, that kind of almost centers it. We can put it back to auto, or we can move it to the right. It sets it up like this. How these specific social icons are shown and not others is because if I back out of this, and I scroll down to theme settings, and I go into location, contact, and social media. When we scroll down, see, we've put some location there. And inside of social media, we only have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We haven't said any other social links. So if we add in our extra social links in here, they will show here as well. For example, I'll just do a tester with YouTube, https www.youtube.com/ let's say booster theme. See? And it adds YouTube right here. And also, because we had social media on our bottom bar, it shows it here as well. So you can add any social media you like. There's a lot of choices in here, and then it'll be added in these sections. I will delete YouTube because I don't need it in my specific situation. All right, so I'll back out of here. I'll back out of here. I will scroll back up, click top bar. Boom. So now I have 2 content items in my top bar. And remember, inside of social media, we could also decide or select or deselect if we want it to be shown for desktop or mobile, right? So even though we have it set here, we can also go in here and once again specify. So I'll come out of here, I will add content and add a link. So inside of links, we can add links, right? So we can once again control our show, right? If we want this to show for one or another, we could change our alignment, but this link list is new. Here we can select a menu, right? A menu that we've pre-made. We can actually also create a menu if we don't have an option, right? So you can create one, but I have a few to choose from. So I will choose, let's say, yoga pants. And boom, yoga pants shows up here. And this is really cool, really useful. So I'll press select. And wow, look at that. So we have 3 items inside of our top bar. And we could choose the alignment and move it wherever we like. I'll back out. And so we have 3 items and it's saying that's all we can do. So know that when you have a top bar, you can only have 3 different types of content that shows. I'm going to remove the yoga pants so I can add in a new one. And to remove, I go to the 3 dots, click it, click remove. Boom. So now I can go to add content, click it. I'll go to contact, and what do you think it adds? It'll add our contact. So I'll click it. When I click it, it adds our contact here. And remember, that contact comes from theme settings, location, and social media. I think it's location, contact, and social media. And whatever we enter in, right, as our contact is shown here. And see, we have our normal options to show for desktop, show for mobile, but we have some new options for show phone and show email. And that's what we're seeing right here. So we can choose to deselect one. Let's say, let's remove show phone. See, and it just shows email us. So we can choose which one we want to show. So even though we get all these items, right, coming from our theme settings, we could click this and be able to customize what we want to be shown. All right, so we have 3 content items in our top bar, and we've gone through all the different content items, right? So we have our 3, but you can choose which ones work best for you. Maybe you might just need 1, maybe you'll need 2, but choose which one works for you. I'll slide down, and now we have some layout settings. Here we can change the global default, right? I mean the section layout from global default to boxed. We can change it to full width background. We can change it to full width, right? We can change the height, which is really cool. We can change it down. See, we shrunk it a bit. We could change it up. Wow, it's a big difference. But see, we can customize it to whatever fits best. We can go to font size, change it from small to base, or from base to medium. Wow, that's big. I'll bring it down to base. And we could set our color combination. So we can set it for primary combination, secondary combination, or custom combination, where we can set exactly how we want it to be. Like what's going to be the fill color? What's going to fill this area? Or what's going to be the custom content color? What's the color of the content in here? So we can click and change, right? Once we click it, we'll be able to choose whatever color we want, right? And it'll be placed here. We could also, even if we had a previously used color, it'll be shown here. If we want no color, we could just click none as well. To set your primary and secondary combination, we'll go back and we'll scroll down and go to theme settings. In here, we can go to base colors. This is the coloring for your theme, and we can click it. And if we scroll down, we'll see primary and secondary combination, right? This is our primary and secondary colors, and we could choose which ones we want. So right now you could tell really quickly that this green and white is being used here for our bottom bar, but you can customize it to whatever works best here. Thank you for watching this video. Please refer to our Help Center for more information.